Hi, this is Gay Polk-Payton, and I'm coming to you with blog number 11. It's going to be a continuation of my blog on parenting. I'm going to filter over a little bit into dating with this blog because it's very important that single people who are dating don't forget about the fact that they're a parent while they're dating, because a lot of times you get caught up in what you want and you forget about the fact that being a single parent makes you totally and completely give up the option of dating haphazardly. You have to date like a married, not a married person. Hopefully married people aren't dating, but unfortunately that's not true either. Don't even get me started on these married men, because I might just start going off on a rant for about 2 days. Anyway, you have to date like a parent. I remember one time, I told my ex-husband that I needed him to get Kobe after church for something, and he told me, I wish you would have given me a little more notice. I told him, I said, in 1997, I came in the room, you were ironing some pants to go to work, and I told you that I was pregnant. I showed you those 2 lines in that window. That was all the notice you get. You are a single parent just like me. Don't make plans till you check with your child. So this is what you have to understand as a single parent. If you are a single parent, whether you are male or female, whether you are the custodial parent or the non-custodial parent, you have a child. That child is your paramount responsibility until you become a spouse again. After being a child of God, being a parent is your #1 role. Your job don't even come before being a parent. You have to be a parent first. So Kobe comes before anything else. It's just like, I've had men to, like get aggravated with me because I would not let them come over because Kobe was here. I would not let them take me somewhere, come pick me up for a date because my son was here. I'm like, no. I've been single for 7 years. I got divorced in February of 2007. And 3 men have met my son. 3. And 2 of them met him on accident. I don't bring men around my son because my son is not going to think that dating is like a game of musical chairs that, changes players every few days or every few months when I get tired. And, it's just like, I've had people to tell me, you too mean to get married. No, I'm not too mean to get married. It's just that I'm not going to bring somebody into my son's life on a full-time basis until I know for sure that they're going to be there. It's just like I said in my PSA book that when I get married, I'm going to know for sure that I want him to be holding one hand and my son to be holding the other one when I draw my last breath. That's how serious it's going to be before I will marry anybody, before I will even consider marrying anyone. Because the thing about it is, I have dual roles in my jobs. I have several jobs. I wear several hats. I wear a hat as a judge. I wear a hat as a lawyer. I'm a singer. I'm an author. I am an aerobics professor. I just have a lot of stuff going on. But my dual roles as a judge and a lawyer, the fact that I do divorce law sometimes, it's like, it makes me realize that as a judge, when I marry somebody, from dearly beloved to by the power vested in me, can take anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes. The only reason it took me a long time to do one Friday because the wedding, the people who were getting married didn't speak English, and so we had to have an interpreter, so she had to repeat everything I said. But barring that, it takes me between 5 and 7 minutes from dearly beloved to by the power vested in me. But if one person does not want out of that relationship when it comes time to end that marriage, then it can take anywhere from a year, 2 years, 3 years. I've seen people trying to get a divorce for 5, 7 years, and they still married to somebody they don't want to be married to because they don't have no grounds for divorce, and the other person didn't do anything wrong other than not be who you wanted or who you thought you wanted. Because but if you don't have grounds for a divorce in the state of Mississippi, you're just not getting out unless you're ready to pay to get out. It's just it's a nasty business, but somebody's got to do it, so why not me? Anyway, so I'm just very, very careful about who I allow into my son's life. And I mean, I just think that it is just incumbent upon parents. You know, you give up the right as a single parent, you give up the right to date haphazardly. You can't just let any and everybody in and out of your child's life. My son he's a male child. As much difficulty as I have meeting a decent man, I am not going to let my son grow up to be a sociopath because of the fact that he saw me living raggedy and watching men coming in and out of my house. The only man that my son has ever seen get out of my bed is his daddy, when I was married to his daddy. And I was married to his daddy when we got pregnant with him, and I was married to his daddy the entire time during his childhood until we divorced when my son was 8 years old. He was 8 or 9, something like that. Anyway, it was 7 years ago. Kobe was 16, so I guess he was 9. So you have to be very careful about that because, what are you teaching your children about relationships? What are you teaching your children about commitment? What are you teaching children about who they are supposed to be to a man? Who are they supposed to be to a woman? If you got a doggone roller coaster ride going on in and out of your house where they got more riders on the ride than the Tower of Terror in Disneyland. You need to sit down somewhere and be a parent. Take time and spend time with your kids. Let your children know that relationships are supposed to be a commitment between adults. When adults get together, your children should understand that that is a commitment that is supposed to last for life. It's not supposed to be a thing where, if he or she starts getting on my nerves, then I can just end it. I can do that because my son ain't involved. So it's just like if I'm dating somebody and he starts to get on my nerves, I can say, okay, you know what? This ain't working out. I'm going to need you to lose my number. I can do that because they haven't met my son. They haven't been anywhere around my son. My son is not going to be traumatized by the fact that Uncle Larry ain't coming over to the house no more because he ain't never even met Uncle Larry. That's the thing that you create drama for your kids by bringing these men into your kids' lives. And then, they're thinking that they're already probably thinking that they did something wrong to make their daddy leave. And then they turn around thinking that they did something wrong to make Uncle Larry leave, make Uncle Steve leave, make Uncle Jack leave. All these men you got coming in and out of your kids' life, you can't do that. Men, it's the same thing with you. You can't have all these women running in and out of your children's lives. You got one woman teaching your daughter how to roll her hair to the back, and then another woman coming in next week, she teaching her how to roll it down to the side. She gonna be confused about how she's supposed to do her hair. I mean, it's just like one woman telling her, okay, you need to go get your eyebrows waxed. No matter what you do, you need to get your eyebrows waxed. Then I'm coming in, I'm dating you, and I meet your daughter. I'm like, no, girl, don't you ever do anything other than get your eyebrows threaded. The baby gonna be confused. Don't confuse your child. You raise your child yourself. Don't let outside influences teach your children the way that they're supposed to live their lives and the way that they're supposed to experience adulthood. They are supposed to learn that from you and you alone until you are married to someone else. You need to leave outside influences on the outside. Your children are already going to have enough people teaching them things. They're going to have sponsors for their community groups. They're going to have Sunday school teachers. They're going to have deacons at the church. They're going to have the youth pastor. They're going to have their teachers at school. They're going to have their football coaches, their basketball coaches. They're going to already have all these different people showing them things. But at least with those people, with the football coach and the teachers and the principal at the school, at least you got a background check. You letting Uncle Larry come in there with your kids and you don't know what kind of fool you got coming in there, spending time with your sons, teaching your son how to be a man, teaching your son how to be a thief, a swindler, a womanizing whore. You cannot let anybody teach your child how to be a good adult. And another thing you have to take into consideration is you don't know who these people are. Uncle Larry might like little girls. And if you got a little girl in your house, you have to be very, very careful about who you bring around your daughters. There have been so many instances of, child abuse, child molestation by step parents, by not necessarily step parents, just somebody that the mama was dating or somebody that the daddy was dating. It's just, it's just too much going on. There are too many instances of children being killed by the boyfriend of the mama or the girlfriend of the daddy. Just crazy stuff going on. You don't know these people, and you're letting these people influence your child and influence your child's life and spend time with your children. You ought to be more careful about who you letting around you. But since you're not going to be careful with yourself, at least be careful with your children. Your children deserve to be treated with care. They need to be treated with protection. You need to protect your babies. Don't let any and everybody come around your child. I mean, even your friends. It's some of my friends that can't come around Cole because they just, it's just like we can hang out. I'm going to meet them. We're going to go hang out. We're going to have a couple of drinks. We're going to eat some nachos or whatever. But then I'm going to go home and they're never going to meet Kobe. But, and guys, they can just forget it. It's like like I said before, 3 men have met Kobe since I've been single. Kobe has never seen any man other than his daddy get out of my bed. The 3 men who met Kobe, 2 of them were on accident. 2 of them were on accident. There was one guy that I dated, and we had dated for an extended period of time. And, he took Kobe to the movies, and he took Kobe. We went out to eat. We hung out. We did all this thing. Because, it was serious. It was a serious relationship. But the other times that Kobe has been met by men that I've gone out with have been on accident. I just don't do that. I don't do it because it's just not healthy for your children. It's not healthy to be letting any and everybody come in and out of your child's life, and your child is confused. They're like, okay, well, this is the way it's supposed to be. You just can't do that. Ladies, be careful who you bring around your children, and men, be careful who you bring around your children. You don't know who these people are. And another thing that you have to think about with parenting is parenting is a sacrifice. And, I sacrificed my social life for Kobe. And I don't mind doing that because my baby is worth it. It's like there has been no date that I've been on that has been so wonderful that I'm willing to sacrifice my son's well-being, his mental, emotional, and physical well-being for any kind of temporary happiness that I may receive from being in the presence of a man that I'm sweet on. There's none of that is worth me sacrificing my son's well-being. So I would rather climb up in this California king bed by myself every night with these 17 pillows than to sacrifice my son's future and my son's emotional and mental well-being and his understanding of the way that relationships should be. My son is going to understand that a relationship is supposed to be a man and a woman who are committed and seeking a life together forever. It's not a temporary roller coaster ride where, you can stay until you start to get on my nerves and then you gotta go. It's fine if you want to do that, but do that without your kids. Just leave your kids out of it. Don't. And then, guys, you want to run around and treat women like disposable diapers, and then you think your daughter is going to meet and fall in love with Prince Charming rather than meet and be played by a joker just like her daddy. Are you serious? Baby, let me tell you something. I can be mean, when it comes to relationships and when it comes to being stern about the way I feel about things. I'm very, very stern about the way I feel about things. I'm not really, I don't think that I'm mean. It's just that I mean what I say and I say what I mean. And it's just like once I say it, once I made a decision about something, there's no going back. It's just like I'm not going to change my mind. There's nothing you can say, nothing you can do. But, I don't think that I would rather me be mean about it and be stern about it than for me to risk my child's well-being because I'm trying to be nice and I'm trying not to hurt somebody's feelings. It's like you meet people all the time. In the last month, I have met 3 really, really nice guys that I thought were really, really nice guys. But it turned out that they very well may be nice guys, but they're going to be nice guys for somebody else because they're not the nice guy for gay. So it's just like, what if I just like, okay, I done met this nice guy. I'm so excited. Oh my God, I'm so excited I done met this nice guy. Let me bring him over here and let him meet my son. And then it's just like next week, he in the do not answer list. And, it's just like, Kobe like, Mama, What happened to Mr. Larry? COVID, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what Mr. Larry is. I can't help you out. Mr. Larry, he gone. He gone. He is Black History with Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, and Martin Luther King and them. I can't do nothing with Uncle Larry. So, I mean, you know, why would you do that to your child? Why not just, if you're going to have your roller coaster ride going on, if you know that your attention span is short, if you know that your tolerance for foolishness is low, if you know that people have a very, very short lifespan within your existence, then why would you bring your children into that? Leave your kids out of your dating process until somebody, you know, puts a ring on, until you get some bling on your left hand. Leave your kids out of it, because it's just like y'all blending families, and he bringing his kids over and you bring your kids over, and y'all blending families, and y'all ain't got no commitment to anything. As a matter of fact, his divorce ain't even final, and y'all blending families and doing why? Why would you? Why? I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting emotional. I just need y'all to do better with your kids. Do better by your children. Your children deserve to have a constant in their life. You have given up the right to date haphazardly. You have given up the right to go in your room and climb under your covers and cry for 3-4 days over some trifling man who broke your heart. You have given up that right. You can't do that. You got to go fix the baby some cereal. You got to go take the baby to football practice. You got to go and do whatever you need to do to be a parent. You ain't got time to be having your feelings hurt over some man who hurt your feelings because you didn't pay attention to the fact that he was worthless in the first place. If you would have just opened your eyes in the first place and not gotten caught up in his charm and the massiveness of his shoulders, then you would have known he was worthless in the first place, and then you wouldn't have even brought your child into it. But barring all that, he could be Prince Charming. He could be this wonderful, wonderful man. But until you are certain of that, until he has shown you that by giving you the commitment that you deserve, leave your children out of it. Do not bring your children around strangers. Do not bring strangers to your house when your children are there. Hell, you don't need to be bringing strangers to your house, period. But definitely don't bring strangers to your house while your children are there. I mean, come on, get a clue. You know, people are crazy these days. There are people people are killing other people. You watch a couple of episodes of Snapped, or you watch a couple of episodes of what's that new show about Fatal Attraction. You watch a couple of those shows and you will see that you need to be very, very careful, not just because of your children, but because of yourself. Love yourself enough to leave people out of your life until they deserve to be in your life. Leave them on the outskirts of your life. Leave them at Chili's. Meet them at the movie theater, and y'all leave in separate cars. Make sure they don't follow you home. Do whatever you got to do. But, you know, just leave that portion of your life. Leave dating outside of your life with your children. Let that be y'all's little world. There's no infiltration of my world with Kobe. Me and Kobe have our own little world. Me and my boo be riding. That's me and my boo. That's me and my little man. And until I am certain that I want a man to be holding one hand and Kobe holding the other one when I draw my last breath, that's when I will bring him into Kobe's life. Because that's when I know that I want him to be in my life on a permanent basis. But until I know that for sure, I'm not going to bring anybody around my son. I'm just not going to do it. And I think you owe it to your children. You owe it to them to have more respect for your duties as a parent than to just let any and everybody come in and out of your children's life. I want you to really, really think about that. Pray about it. Because, I mean, you know, I make jokes about a lot of things, but there is one thing that I do not play about. I went through 37 weeks gestation, 15 hours of labor, and a C-section to bring my son into this world, and I do not play about my little chocolate man. And I will not do anything that will do anything to hinder his life. anything that to disrupt his life, anything to destroy his life. Women say all the time, I can do bad by myself, but I'm doing all right by myself. I'm taking care of my son. I'm handling my business. So I'm not going to let somebody come into my life and upset me and disrupt me and make me sad and make me pitiful so that I can't take care of my son the way my son deserves to be taken care of. He didn't, children. Kobe and I just got back from Disneyland, and we were in Anaheim, California, and I learned something. Kids ask for a lot of things, but one thing that kids do not ask for, they do not ask to come here. But if you are grown up enough to bring a child into this world, be grown up enough to sacrifice and stop being selfish and let your children be children until they're able to be adults on their own. Be grown. Stop acting like a child. You don't have to have instant gratification. All right, I'm out. Have a good week.